One of the contributions of the promised Messiah is he established the fact that the Messiah, Jesus the Messiah, was dead, from the Holy Quran, from the Hadith, and this is a very important point because most of the Muslims think that the Messiah or the Jesus is still in heaven alive and he will come back. Could Hadhrat explain this point?
Yes, it's a very important point. I'll do that. But unfortunately, today it is not right to say that most of the Muslims believe that he is alive in the heaven. They have started retreating. They have started abandoning their first line of defense and finding shelter behind the second one. The ulama at that time, when Massih declared this Jesus' death in accordance with Allah's revelation, was the most hated man, became the most hated man in the world of ulamas of Islam. And right from Arabia till all the corners of the earth where Muslims were found, they said this man has forfeited his right to live. He declares Jesus to be dead. They were united in this opinion that Jesus is alive. And why were they so angry with that declaration that Jesus is dead? Because they thought their life depended on Jesus. Life of Islam depended on Jesus. Unless he came, there will be no hope. And Hazrat Muhammad himself has repeatedly bound Jesus' reappearance with the resurgence of Islam and revival of Islam and spread of Islamic message once again. So that could have been the reason why they were so unforgivable in their attitude to Hazrat Muhammad. But Hazrat Muhammad stuck to his ground. He said, this is true, and what he said, on the other hand, was the most beautiful rebuttal to the mullahs. He said, let Jesus die, because it is the life of Islam which depends on his death. As long as he is considered alive, Islam will never become alive. It's like a seesaw. Let Jesus die so that Islam may live. This is the most beautiful statement. In one short sentence, he debunked all their arguments and shook them up to see things in reality, what they actually were. The rise of Christianity was the one deadly factor against Islam. And it could not be reversed without declaring that the so-called Son of God is dead. Christianity would crumble down and completely and demolished, razed to earth. So this also is the meaning of breaking of cross. The mullahs think, still many of them think, that when Jesus was to come, he would turn his attention to the physical sign of his torture and his torturous death, that is cross, and he would start breaking them. And he would travel far and wide, every country will be visited by him, every home where there is a cross, and he would start breaking them and throwing them away. Now they don't offer any formula for the reconstruction of crosses by those whose crosses are broken. Because if external cross is broken, the internal is not broken thereby. If somebody demolishes a Muslim mosque, how can he completely abandon the very concept of worshipping in the mosque? He would try to build another, like we have always been doing. In Pakistan, so many Ahmadi mosques are demolished. We build others and others and others. So how could the cross within the hearts of the Christians be broken? So he would start breaking them, but at a faster speed than he can break. there will be other technicians and mechanics and laborers, experts in this art, they will be making the crosses. If for one they will make 100 out of revenge for him. So will he spend eternally occupied with this profession of breaking crosses? But anyway, Hazrat Massih pointed to the fact, look here, for God's sake, don't attribute such meaningless things to Hazrat Muhammad. When he mentioned he would break the cross, it only meant that he would break the very basis of Christianity, the very backbone of Christianity, so that the cross would not be worshipped thereby. And this was the one single stroke of genius, aided by Allah, of course, which made Ahmadiyya a most powerful and victorious agency of Islam against Christianity of all forms. You see, even today this is working and they don't see it. They have only abandoned the idea because they think that if we continue to believe in Jesus' return, he has not so far. And Ahmadis are after our skin. They say, produce Jesus, where is he? Or admit that the representative Jesus has come. So to get rid of this nuisance, for 100 years, we have been demanding, all right, produce the real Jesus if he's alive. If all right, do away with it, he's dead, no more. Where did he die? When he was risen to heaven, did he die there? And if not, then what is he doing in living eternally a material life? And would he not be returned to the day of judgment? And he will not be raised again? If he dies there, then where will the mullahs take this verse? فِيهَا تَحْيَوْنَ وَفِيهَا تَمُوتُونَ وَمِنْهَا تُخْرَجُونَ. So will Jesus deny, give a lie to the statement of the Quran? So they don't enter these implications. They shut their eyes intentionally. When the common people, Muslims, ask them, all right, what about Jesus? Why doesn't he come? Are the Ahmadis right that he is only to appear metaphorically as representation? They forget about it. It's unimportant. Let Jesus die, we do not care. He is not important for us. So we've gone back and completely reversed the previous stance of 13 centuries. They were waiting, and when he came, they completely reversed their position and said, let Jesus die, we don't care. It's not important for Islam. Only recently, this edict was issued in Saudi Arabia. Some Maulvi, in answer to the question, he said, it's unimportant, it doesn't matter. In one of the newspapers, somebody wrote to me that this was recently published. As far as the life is, it's unimportant. The traditions we speak of it are not very strong. So let him die. If you let him die, what about the interpretations of the Holy Quran? You can't dismiss the statement of the Holy Quran as Zaif Hadith, and you have been insisting throughout the last many centuries that the Holy Quran tells you that Jesus is still alive and has been lifted to heaven. What about that? So this is all excuses, dishonesty. But Hazrat Massih turned the table against them. How beautifully, one twist of the hand. People say sleight of hand, but that is an expression applicable only to magical show. There's a blunt little twist, and the whole table is turned against them. He said, Jesus did not die upon cross, although he was crucified attemptedly. But crucifixion did not reach its objective, and it failed to kill him. It was only an instrument of death. And as such, it is true to say he was not crucified. The example